Thanks for checking out the Chrissy Mayer podcast. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification icon. And if you're on iTunes, please go subscribe and leave a sexy or creepy review on there. I will be reading the best or worst reviews every week, so long as they are 5 stars, because we got to recover from the Asians. They torched my reviews after Kung Fu fighting. But I'm so happy to have this girl on the pod today. She is a longtime friend of mine. She is a Compound Media regular, friend of the show. She's the co-host of the Heart Skoal podcast, which is all about the Minnesota Vikings, and you can hear that on Jim Jax Media. She also will be hopefully doing a Skoal to the Bowl comedy tour this coming fall. AMarie Castillo. Yay.
Oh, Chrissy, better late than ever. We had the scheduling. I'm glad we're here.
Scheduling snafu. Yeah, AMarie, I was seeing on your social media that you went into New York City just a few days ago because you're, like I said, you're on every show on Compound Media. Everyone loves you. You, I think, did Morning and In Hot Water, and this was what, today? This will come out Saturday. So you went in last Tuesday.
I went in for like dentist and to check on my apartment, because I haven't been to New York since March 1st.
Oh wow. So you had to water your succulents.
Yeah, I was like, oof, this is so weird. Like, this is, and I like, I haven't seen, not only was it a weird time in general, because even if you're not in New York City, you just haven't seen friends.
It is very weird.
Haven't performed. It's just been like a weird time, obviously, in the world. And then it's post-COVID, post-protest, post-riots, and then I go back to New York. And so, like, and I'm not going to lie, it was just so weird seeing New York, like, half dead?
Yeah.
Dead? It's not the same, like, I feel like New York gets you going. Like, I love the energy of the city, and it just feels weird. It feels awkward. I feel like everyone is... I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't
people,
like it at
people
all.
hate on the crowds, but guess what? That's the same thing that people love about New York City. It's the crowds. It's the like shoulder to shoulder, frenetic energy of people with places to go and things to do and dreams they're going after. Yeah, they're all living in shitty apartments because they're here in New York City to get something done. And when that's gone, you have just a lot of really talkative homeless, is what I've heard.
Yeah, and now bars, when I went back, now bars are open, but like outdoor seating.
Yeah, they're trying to make outdoor seating happen, whatever
like
way
Vegas
they can.
Or like New Orleans. It's just like I'm walking around with like a drink, and it's just weird. So
yeah, I heard that like people are way chattier, and by people I mean the mentally ill. They're more so approaching, which as you know, I've always had a soft spot for the mentally ill, but this has been just jacked way up. There's always homeless kind of around the Compound Media area, kind of in that Penn Station
I don't know
area.
what that's about,
but I've heard that there's way more now. Yeah, crime is up 400%
right there on that corner. Yeah.
Crime is up 400% in the city, and it's like there is so much shit going on. The mainstream media is not talking about it. Instead, they're just sort of bickering over COVID stats and second waves.
Divide. Or attacking the other sides or whatever side they're on. But I also just makes me sad. Like, I try to stay informed, but like I can't even watch the news because I get so depressed. So I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where like the average person just like kind of has no faith in the media anymore, and it's like it's so divisive. Like whether it's almost like they force you to choose a side, with something so simple as like wearing a mask has to be a statement. It's like come to this point, and it's that's a whole other thing.
I always like to focus on the positive. The only thing I gotta say is everyone, I've seen a lot more manners, though. Like, people are a little more self-aware in New York, which that's never a thing. You don't exist. Like, I'm never the person that move. I always have to move. Like, I'm not that confident of a person that just keeps walking.
You know what it is, AMarie? It's the fucking tourists that are not self-aware. And like, God love them. God love them. They keep the city moving. Everyone loves tourism. But like, it's the people that are coming in from Raleigh, North Carolina that stand in the middle of an intersection and they're walking like 5 across with like everybody in their family doing a fucking Red Rover. And it's like, yeah, it's a lot of these out of towners that are weirding up the place, and they're like basically speed bumps in the sidewalk, because like the sidewalks are streets. And yeah, people they don't know how much space they take up. They don't know how slow they're going. You're always in somebody's way in New York City, but yeah, even more so if you are visiting from out of town.
And the subways are the cleanest I've ever seen them.
Really? Okay.
And
so
the
shiny.
Ubers, and I was like, wow. I just think it's like it took a pandemic for people to wash their hands and be more mindful. I don't know.
Not me. I can't wait to going back and eating stuff off the floor. Did you feel, AMarie, at any point when you were in the city, like you were gonna get mugged or jumped or?
No, I just felt like I was just like, because New York is so dirty, I was like, oh my God, I like kept my mask on tight.
Okay, so nobody was like sizing you up, like?
Oh, I gotta say, a lot of people don't size me up in general, but I think that comes with territory and my height. Like, I've never been like, no one ever like threatens. Well, you and I did that show in AC, and that guy threw a sandwich at me.
Yeah.
But that came down to being an Eagles fan and a sports fan. But
yeah,
besides Eagle fans, like, no one really messes with me.
I have never seen that in all of my 10 years of comedy. I've seen heckles. I've seen people jumping onto the stage. I've seen people throw drinks. I have never in my life seen somebody chuck a sandwich at a comedian on stage. And we were like, what is that? And then we were like, damn, I think that's a fucking BLT, you know? You're like, we were at the AC Beer Fest, like one of my all-time favorite gigs, in this huge,
That was a fun gig.
like indoor, I don't know.
Convention center.
Yeah. And we were doing
like 10,000 people there.
We were doing jokes at the porta potties. It was called Dirty Jokes. And there were like, 20 porta potties around us. We had to stand in the middle and just sniff that in for like hours a day. Like, what was it, 3 days in a row we did that?
Yeah, that was like a lot of comedy.
But it was like boot camp comedy. It's like, all right, it's your turn. Get up. You're doing an hour. Like, just a quick hour.
A quick thing. But Chrissy, I don't know if you remember, like, because I was hitting on some people. One of these kids, he was really young.
Are you talking about AC Jokes?
Yeah, not AC Jokes.
The Beer Fest.
AC, yeah, one of the young kids at AC Beer Fest DM'd me the other day. He's like, I know you told me I was too young for you at AC Beer Fest, but I thought I would just hit you up. And I was like, oh God,
whoa. This is Crystalia level of keeping track of an age and then following up. To have somebody follow up like that a year later to the date. Wow.
But I was telling him he was too young because I think he's like 20 or 21 or something. I was like, no, buddy.
All right. Yeah, he's too young for you, but he's old enough for the law.
True.
It is hard. It's tough. It's tough for AMarie because she's a woman of height.
I like that you call me a tall.
You're a tall. You're a tall. You're a different species. You're an exotic. All I want is to be, I would love a couple more inches. Like, I'm 5'3". I can't even reach the top shelf of my own apartment.
Well, you're always in heels.
I'm always in heels. But since the choir, I sort of stopped because I was like, I'm not getting on stage. Why am I
walking around the house?
Am I gonna wear heels to go pick up the mail? Like, maybe I should do that. Maybe that would get me laid a little more often. But
start wearing heels.
Yeah. Just like, I'm just making the bed nude and heels.
And like your leggings, just.
But AMarie, my feet have changed 180. Like, they now feel like feet, whereas before they felt like raccoon paws.
Yeah.
So that's been
nice.
This
has been good, like all natural, like not getting mani-pedis, like no paint.
I just got one. I just got my mani-pedi, and I swear to God, I came instantly. Like, I could not have been happier. Like, I had to make an appointment. I had to get there early. There was only 3 ladies at my place, and everybody in there you could see was so grateful to be getting their feet fixed. And yeah, it was really thrilling.
Christy, I'm doing my first Soul Cycle class this week. They opened Soul Cycle.
Wow.
And it's outdoors. And you know how I feel about Soul Cycle. And I've never been filled with so much joy because it was taken away from me, just like stand-up, sports, and sex. All my favorite things were taken away from me. So
It's terrible.
Yeah, so like,
and Soul Cycle is spinning. It's like a cultish type spinning class where
very cool.
You know, you have to there's vibes involved, there's gays, they have their own clothes.
It's
a whole thing.
It's dancing on a bike. Yeah, but it's intense.
Yeah.
It's an intense workout.
You sweat your ass off. There's little teeny tiny weights at the back of your seat. You just lean back and all of a sudden you have 2-pound weights in each of your hands. And then, you'll really sweat. You'll burn out your arms and shoulders. That's that Tracy Anderson style of like high reps, low weights, which really cuts out your arms and shoulders. So yeah, I highly recommend a Soul Cycle class for sure.
But it's going to be interesting because it's outdoors and that we're all spaced out. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
Where outdoors is it going to be?
Well, I'm in the Hamptons.
Oh right, you're hamping it up, and I heard it. I heard it at
the time in quarantine.
Yeah, you're living fucking everyone's best life in
the
Hamptons.
Whenever my mom's like, "Stop telling people," you're like, "Oh, I've been in the Hamptons since March."
Yeah, good for you. I heard in the very beginning that lots of rich Manhattanites were fleeing to the Hamptons.
They were.
Everyone was like,
and like buying fridges.
Yes, that they were buying second fridges, buying out all the groceries in the local, like little grocery stores to stock up their 1 and 2 fridges, and that there was no food left for their locals, for the residents. And that they were like, wow, you guys suck. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have a sort of rhythm. They know when to expect more people, but this was March. This was months before Labor Day. Have you been seeing, I feel like you kind of have a local in there. I feel like you come off more.
Yeah, a cool local. I know the local scene. Well, because the family I worked for, I've known them I've worked on and off for them for 13 years, and I've always spent summers out here with them working for them.
Yeah, you're not like a Manhattan comedy. You're not like a Manhattan twat. You know, you're just like a real. Other than the Soul Cycle thing, you're very down to earth.
Yeah,
you're great. I'm just kidding.
No, it's true.
But outside of the pandemic, you know, would you say you've had a somewhat difficult time finding eligible bachelors because of being a tall?
I also just. Oh yeah. Okay, so thank you for asking. You know, Chrissy, a lot of people actually haven't asked me this question. I think, which is weird enough, or they ask me about dating, but they don't take my height into consideration a lot of the time. I have a bit that I say I make every 5'9" guy 6 foot because because every 5'9" guy thinks they're 6 foot until they meet me. But I always say I'm 5'12" too because I try to be cute. But then that doesn't go over well. But so I'm 6 foot, and like everyone's always like, "Oh my god, I wish I was tall." I'm like, I wish I was like 5'7".
I literally just said that. That's just me from 2 minutes ago.
I know, but like 5'7", 5'8", and then you wear the heels you wear, and then you're 6 foot. Like I wear heels, and I'm 6'3", 6'4". Now, I appreciate my height now, but I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have at an earlier age. Like I really do love being tall. Like I didn't realize how much it contributed to. I don't know. Like I get away with a lot more stuff. I don't know. People were. I feel like people,
what?
I think people
shoplifting. Nobody suspects that tall girl stealing makeup.
No, people always just respect me because I'm taller. I swear. I respect
tall people. I don't know what it is. You're like, oh, that person is not lying. They know what they're doing.
I can command a room, whatever.
Yeah.
And in sports, it helped.
Whenever there's chaos, I look for the tallest person in the room for answers.
My favorite part is, this is my favorite part about being tall. I'll be at the grocery store and I'll get that look.
Who gives you that look?
Because they want me to get them something off the top
Seriously,
shelf.
People are treating you like some sort of carnival reachy arm thing. They just want you to get stuff
and
off the top shelf.
I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you, but can you get me that thing?
How often does this happen?
Every time I go to the store.
Wow. See, no one has asked me for shit.
Remember I did that for you? I got you your
My xanthan gum, because I was baking, and xanthan gum I think is a binding element, much like a cornstarch. And I think I was baking something like
Something
kind of
healthy.
healthy, and I was like, I needed the xanthan gum, and God, I did the same thing that all these horrible losers do to you. I
Chrissy,
made
I
you.
totally forgot. Then we went to TJ Maxx that day. We had a day after a compound. And remember we met that really cool lady?
We met a woman who was like
Wait, I forgot about this.
Insta friends with us. You know, she was like a mom, and it's like my mom just died. So anybody who's even a little bit like momish to me, I am attracted to. And she was just like sweet and very chatty and probably a little drunk, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
had this like vacation energy about her. Like she was just blew in from somewhere in Europe, and she was like just telling us. She was in line ahead of us at TJ Maxx, which those of you who shop there know these are epic lines. These lines take like 20 minutes to
It's
get
just
through.
like, it's rowdy.
And while you're in the line, you'll end up picking up like 5 more things because they trick you in the TJ Maxx line by putting like little things, other little shit you don't need, but you need when you're in line. You know, like, oh, I need more shower sponges. Like, oh, I need
Yeah,
college.
like shower gel I've never used.
I really need this collagen powder. You know, you're like, I need to get socks. And so this lady was in front of us, and she just was like, in the span of 2 minutes, telling us how great we were, which is always suspect, but I couldn't turn away either. I was like, this lady's making a lot of sense. And she was like, let's blow this joint. Let's go have some drinks. And we were like, we have to go to our jobs. Like, we have
she
lives.
wanted to go to like our shows. Like, but like, I just think we saw the future us.
Yeah, she was. I want to turn into like a sassy old lady who's still cool, who's still like getting laid, you know, who stays up late.
Is laid.
Yeah.
And like, it makes no sense because you're like, where does she get her money from? She like doesn't work. She like, what does she do? Like, I don't know. She's just like one of those mysterious. She has
she has rich lovers. She's blowing in and out of town. Yeah. It's like, I honestly was jealous, you know.
Yeah.
She was a cool girl. But yeah.
I just forgot about that lady until you said that. I
did too. So so you're tall. People are asking you to get things off of shelves.
So guys,
do you on your dating profiles? Do you put your actual real height?
Yeah. So I will, not to break a lot of hearts out there, I haven't been on a dating site in a while. I have this newfound confidence, and I've just been like on a roll this past year.
Well,
you know?
You like lost so much weight. I mean, you look effing amazing. It's
like, thanks, girl. Yeah.
But it's also, you're just glowing from within. Like, you're just like you've always been a happy, positive person, but it's almost like you're on crack at this point. It's
my favorite part is because people feel bad because they think like I did have a major weight loss though, because people are like, no, you were pretty before. But I think it's like, because society's so sensitive. Like, obviously I wasn't like obese, but it's my whole body changed. Like, I mean, how
much did you lose?
Like 30 pounds.
Well, that's significant. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like my body changed in general. I feel like I wasn't like a fat person or anything, but like I was bigger.
Yeah, and so now you're just
I don't know, like, people are so sensitive about this. I'm like, no, thank you. Yeah, I like when people are like, I don't want to offend you. I'm like, you're not offending me.
You definitely were not a fat person, but you did get snatched, you know? So
exactly.
I'm sure you like,
just over the last 2 years, I just, like, as cheesy as it sounds, like, found myself, loved myself, feeling myself, like, lost all this weight, like.
So it's just like, that simple. You just started to love yourself more, and then. But I guess by that, you're probably like, I love myself, so I'm gonna move more. I'm gonna.
No, it was I changed my lifestyle a lot. Like, I really grew up a lot, worked on myself, and I wasn't drinking like a bottle of Jameson all the time,
Oh, okay. So mostly the drinking. Okay.
Oh, it has to be. Like, I mean, I've always been an athlete and active, but I also was very hard on myself, and like, as cheesy as it sounds, like I tell people, it's all in your thoughts and your mind too. Like, I wasn't even realizing like how I was treating myself.
Wow.
And I'm a very positive person. Like, it's not like I just became this positive person. I've always been positive.
But you just became more aware of your patterns and
self-aware
thought patterns. Because it's so true. Like, your thoughts become your life. Like, your thoughts are things. And just as much as you would choose or not choose what food to put in your body, the same is true of your thoughts. Like, all kinds of shit pops into your head, but you choose what stays and what goes. So if you find that you're embracing all the most negative thoughts that you have about yourself, like that's going to be, you're going to walk around with that. But if you're like, no, I'm going to just like let this pass, because not everything that pops into your head is reality. And I think a lot of us do ourselves a disservice by just, it's so easy to just think negative of yourself. And because I don't know why, there's some part of our brain that just likes to beat ourselves up.
I got over that.
Yeah. Anything in particular, or you just like woke up one day?
I started meditating, and then, when just because I'm not saying casually, but when Bex died, that was like a huge, I don't know if this happened when your mom passed, but like that was just like one of the most life-changing events of my life, and it motivated me more than ever to like live.
So this was like, you would say your best friend, pretty much,
who
died.
Yeah, one of my best friends. Yeah,
one of your closest friends who.
Yeah, like my best friend
in New York.
Yeah,
and she died like what, 2 years ago, something like that.
No, she died last April 2nd.
Oh God. Okay, so it's
the year.
Like
the year was this April. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really crazy. I mean, like, my boyfriend lost his best friend when he was a teenager, and it's like, and I don't know what that's like, but it's like, I know what it feels like to lose a mom, which is getting the worst donkey punch of all. It's just like,
I can't ever imagine. So
it's like so much sporadic grief. Like I would,
sporadic is the best word, Christy.
Yeah. Because you think you'll be good. You'll be like, I logically understand what has happened. I watched her be sick with cancer for 3 years. I know that it was the worst kind and one that you don't recover from. And it's like, I see her looking like she's not going to recover. It's like, I am prepared for the loss. Like, but I even tried to do, like I mentioned this on a other episode, that I actually did my spots the night she died. Like, well, she died that morning, and then I went out that night. Yeah. Wait a minute. Was that your show at the Village Lantern?
No, well, no, it was the night before.
That was the night before. I did maybe the best set ever the night before she died, and was at your show.
You know how supportive and most comics lie to each other?
Yes.
I literally made a face. Yeah, everyone's like, good set. I'm like, bullshit. Okay. But the
good set. I hope you die.
I literally put on Facebook, I was like, someone call the cops because Christy Mayer just murdered. I'll never forget that post, because then I remember the event the next day. But it's really cool when you see your friends crush. I mean, I'm the most supportive, stupid asshole out there. But, I'm one of those supportive comics. Not far few.
They're very few and far between. It's really exciting to see your friends do well. It's like, I get happy for them.
I have never seen you. I mean, you continue to grow, but like, holy, it just so that was. Come on, we've seen so much comedy, and I can name from my close comedian friends like you. I'll remember certain sets, and that one I'll never forget.
Thank you. I think I was working so hard at that time because I knew it was about to be bad. Like I had been losing her for 3 years, and I think I just made a conscious choice to like work more on myself and really focus more on comedy kind of as a distraction. Cause it's like, you don't know how it's going to hit you until now that I know.
And it's like, still don't, it's day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why when I see somebody in a TJ Maxx that's kind of mom-like, it's like, I could either love it or just start sobbing. Like I was in a Marshall's. Yeah, I do a lot of discount shopping, I guess. And this lady, I'm behind her, same back of the head, blonde head, same like almost like Crocs looking comfortable type sneakers, same cropped leggings. And I was like, I gotta get away from this lady. And she just shopped around with me. She was right behind me the whole store.
She was following you.
And I started to cry. And I was like, I can't let this lady see me. Okay, so you went through amazing body changes. How do you feel like that has affected your dating life now?
Just self-confidence. And I'll let you know, like, state the obvious, like when you're more confident, you attract more, right? Because I'm putting out, like, I feel like
your high beams.
Good things. What?
You put out your high beams? I don't know. That's like
my high beams.
It sounded like a nipple reference.
But also, like, I won't lie, like, there's guys out of the woodworks being like, hey, I'm like,
like exes?
or guys all that I guess have liked me all along. I don't know. It's been really weird.
You're like, but where were you all along?
No exes. None of my exes.
But people you've known for a while that are
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah.
revealing themselves as potential suitors.
Yeah. More guys have been shooting
Their loads.
Shooters gotta shoot kind of thing, you know.
Because I
But
remember,
actually, like, a lot of people are like, I bet your DMs are full. I'm like, they're mostly like Midwest dads who love their wife, or like, go Vikes, love your podcast.
Yeah.
Or like, is this fantasy football mock draft good?
I need somebody to reach. So I'm at the Costco. I need somebody to reach something for me. Am I at the right place?
I'm not being negative. I don't get asked out and I don't get hit on. I'm the aggressor, I feel like most of the time.
Which is good because a lot of guys like love and need and want that, but they don't really.
I feel like a lot of guys are intimidated by me. I'm like this strong, like alpha. I'm like sports, you know, it's all girl. And, you know, I'm very like aggressive and
these are all really good qualities. These are all like, it's really
very good positive, you know.
It's better to have all that than to be someone who is just goes through their life getting continually walked on, which like I have to fight against. Like I was programmed for that route, like people pleasing, never standing up for myself.
I used to be that, recovering people pleaser. Daddy issues up the wazoo, self-esteem. Now it's like easy to weed out. Like I have one of my guy friends. He used to try to hook up with me years ago during my really insecure years. And he was like, just too much self-esteem these days.
Yeah, you're right. You're like, you can't get it now.
I don't put up with shit though. If you don't meet my requirements,
put out.
Peace out.
Because I remember, AMarie, I think over the years, I feel like I've seen you date at least 2 guys who dated you. And then it was revealed that they were more like really big fans of stand-up comedy. Like whether it was your comedy or stand-up in general, to me it seemed like they were just trying to get close to the scene.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know some of their intentions, but I'm still trying to figure it out. But I can think of one. I'm just trying to think who the number 2 is.
There was one that you brought to Christina and Corinne's.
Okay, now I finally caught the second one.
Okay, the one that you brought to the party, the book party, and then.
Okay. Well, no, right when you said that, I got it. Yeah. And you know, I'm friends with both of them. That's really funny. I love you so much.
I'm not saying this at all as like a diss. Okay, I'm just going like, wow.
It's not a diss.
These 2 dudes have this in common.
No, they didn't make me listen. Now I would not put up with it because I'm like, it was very on and off, keeping me at a point where like when they would want me, they wanted me. When they don't, they don't.
Ugh.
Which,
yeah, you have time for that when you're like a grown ass woman.
But also like, I'm not like, I don't want a man friend for like 2 more years, and I like to have my fun, but also just say how it is. Like if you're on and off with a girl, or you have a girlfriend, or like whatever, just, you know, maybe you should just tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because they are afraid that being honest with you will mean you will scram, you know?
Yeah, because also I'm like a chill person. Like I also just, I don't know.
You are very chill. It's disrespectful to not be honest with somebody about your status, you know? Be like, hey, you are number 2, but let's have fun, you know? Or something.
When I see you for the 3 hours.
When I'm in New York, it's all you, you know. But just like stories that I've heard from my friends over the years, like like these guys that are like that travel around a lot. I don't know. It's annoying. We all deal with like shady guys at one point or another.
The one thing I will say about going back to the tall thing is I don't understand how like short guys hit on me more than tall guys, which
because they're like, look, it's obvious. I could clearly be a footstool, you know.
I maybe conquer that. I want to. You're like,
I'm a man who likes to be on top, and I'm a man who needs someone to reach for my shit.
Or they'll be like, we're the same height lying down. I was like, no, we're not.
Yeah, no.
Why? Whoever came up with that saying is the dumbest person. I also I like a man bigger than me, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People are like, oh, you're so picky. I'm like, I know what I
No,
want. Like,
it's called biology. There's like, I mean, not every woman, but a lot of women like feeling protected in that sort of like man-woman way. So, which means you just need to find like a Minnesota Viking or like a professional athlete. You know, that's that. That's all there is to it. Imagine that imagine it just like comes out one day that your whole podcast, your whole sporty girl thing was just an elaborate ruse to just get like knocked up by an athlete. Like, I just wanted a tall boyfriend.
I just wanted a tall boyfriend. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, there would be easier ways to do it than to pretend to be like, I mean, the amount of facts you have to know.
Let me tell you something. In my 20s, you know, whatever. Now in my 30s, when guys want to settle down too, the whole sports angle, and I mean, these hips, this body, I mean, we would produce an athlete.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You would just literally give birth into a hoop or something. No, I have no idea.
Guys are scouting me now, Chrissy, like scouting me at bars. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Guys will come up to me and they'll be like, yo, we could make a first round draft pick. I'm like, are you going to ask me to run my 40 right now? Or are you going to ask me to jump my vertical? Is this like a pro day? Is this like a tryout? Like, they start like asking me my stats. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that would be great.
Guys already use girls for so many things. Now I'm just getting used for my genetics.
Like this baby's going to have a strong back. I wish I could do that. I wish I had gone and days. Like, you know what? Here's an agility test. Let's see if your ass can do like these cones, you know? I should have, yeah. There's so many things.
That's funny, just like younger and now like older. Now guys are ready to settle down and they're like, right,
it's all about timing for men. It's really, I feel, maybe this is just like the cynical New Yorker in me, but I feel like it is more about timing and less about like who actually they're meeting for a lot of men. Like, I'm not saying everybody, but it's just like, you know what? It's like you're ready to start just shooting in the same hole. I don't know. I can't make a pun right now. I tried to. Yeah. And then so do you find a lot of guys are hitting on you at comedy shows, or is it more like it comes up in conversation outside of clubs pre-pandemic?
Primarily every guy I've hooked up with in the last 2 years, I've met through comedy. Or not necessarily like my circles in comedy, like, because I'm not trying to be like this. I don't really have a social life out of comedy anymore.
It's hard to. It's
or
really
my
hard
sports
to.
media or my sports media jobs, like if I'm going to an event or whatever. So every guy has been through either, like, not gonna lie, through an ESPN person or through Compound or through going to comedy shows. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, every serious boyfriend I have ever had has been somebody I met in person, either in stand-up comedy.
I've never done online dating apps.
After like even an improv, I met one after an improv show at a bar. The only one that I met randomly was like at a bar, New Year's Eve. I literally stayed till 2 a.m. I was picked up I was part of the cleanup crew, AMarie. I think you know what that means, which means I just was around at 2 a.m. and therefore I was chosen by Brian, and he took me home to his Upper East Side apartment, and then we dated for a year. It was basically like a year-long one-night stand, and
my mom
knocked up another girl, so that was fun.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
It's fine.
Brian, what was Brian's last name?
Lemster. He was he worked in IT or something. He owned like a software company. Yeah, it's okay. It all worked.
I'm like Brian, Upper East Side. Like, there's not.
It all worked out. The first red flag. The first red flag. I should have turned around and went home when I noticed the spelling of his name, which was B-R-Y. I was like, you can never trust a Brian with a Y.
Us girls, we have such
and then
trust issues.
It was my first boyfriend. I was so young and stupid. I was 22. Like, couple months into the relationship, he told me he was cheating on me with his Russian tutor because he was learning Russian to speak with his coders abroad. And I remember he took me out to the beach, like on Long Island, to tell me that he had been cheating on me with his Russian tutor and that he had chlamydia. And I didn't know. I'd never had a boyfriend before. So I just thought part of having a boyfriend was accepting all this stuff, like just staying with somebody no matter what. And I just was like, okay. And we hugged, and my feelings were really hurt. And I kept dating him for like another 8 months. I didn't know shit.
Believe me,
Anyway.
I've done that was my 20s, like on and off with guys I just shouldn't have. And I'm not saying none of them will probably ever watch these, like,
No. Yeah.
but, you know, just I was
You
a
have to
crazy
go
girl.
through a lot of stuff to like
Crazy girl.
figure out what you want. Yeah. So yeah, you had a crazy week. I know we were supposed to record a couple days ago, and then something came up with your family.
Yeah.
And I I was like, AMarie, are you sure you want to talk about this? And I think it's really cool. Like you said, you talked about it on an Instagram story. I don't know if you want to illuminate.
And people get on, not that I'm mad or anything. Like, I just like, I think it's important, like, to make a long story short, because obviously we talk for hours about this, but, you know, for years, just like I said, I went through this whole change, like, you could say glow up, but like just knowing my worth and being proud of everything I am, like even my imperfections. And, you know, I used to be so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God. Like when I was like first in entertainment, like getting it like in LA. And when I was like 19, I was like, oh my God, what if they find out I have a meth addict of a sister? Like, I mean, it's so stupid. Like, I was so embarrassed for so long. And she controlled so much of my life and caused so much pain my entire life. And
is she older, younger?
Yeah. So my sister, she's 5 years older, and she has been a drug addict half her life. So she's 38. I'm 33, if no one knows. More than about half her life. It's so sad because classic, you know, drug. We all, you know, you've seen the movie, seen the books. Everyone has one in the family. Usually, there's usually one or whatever. It's very tough though, because they control your life and they're usually the focal point. So it's weird. Why I want attention? No, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. My mom's the best. You met my mom at Caroline.
I love your mom.
She
was in the back. She came to AMarie had this huge breakout headlining show at Caroline's. Packed it out. The room was like electric. And then I hear this lady in the back room like, "Hi, AMarie!" And it was your mom, and she was bombed, and she was like,
Bud Lights.
Then she's like to the waitress, "Keep them coming." She just was the most fun and like so supportive. Yeah,
most loving parent. I always feel bad for my mom because I feel like, you know,
they can't both be good. My dad sucks. My mom was the fucking shit.
But I feel this is who I feel the most bad for. I'm going to tell you what happened with my sister, but like, because then like people define her success by like the outcome of your child almost. Like people judge her a lot, and I'm like, wow, you were never there. Like, AMarie, she calls me Allie, but Allie and Vanessa's my sister, come from the same household, and look how they turned out. So, you know, it's very interesting how you're dealt the same cards and how you deal, you know, whatever quote or whatever you want to insert.
Yeah, you're dealt the same cards and how you play them.
Yeah, because Vanessa and I were in the same household, grew up. And so it's just interesting behind it. Long story short, my sister was hospitalized because she has a severe case of syphilis, which now, you know, everyone's going to jump and judge or make fun of or like whatever. And like, I'm not going to lie, like I'm knock on freaking wood throughout my 20s in New York City, like, you know, never have experienced that. But I know it's very common for people to have an STD or whatever, but I never understood how severe an STD could be until my sister was hospitalized with it, right? So this was the hard part. My sister's been on and off, you know, drug addict for half her life, and so she lives on the streets. Like, you know, there came to a point in our family, like, we can't do anything anymore. Like, she does not ever want to change. So I'm proud of our family. We're doing better than ever. She has 4 kids. I mean, it's you know, it's heartbreaking. That's hard for me because like I was very torn if I wanted to be in her life or not, and especially because I have so much resentment and anger. But I feel like love is truly, you know, you can call me hippie all you want, is the answer to everything. So I came to a point when I was going through all this transformation, I was like, and I'm loyal to her kids, like, you know, she caused a lot of pain in their life. So it's hard for me. I'm like, not that you have to pick a side, but it's like very hard.
Cause she's hurt you, but these kids
Yeah,
are.
but at the same time, it's your family, right?
Yeah.
So, she's super sick, but before she was super sick, about a year ago, my mom, we reconnected with her. We haven't seen her in years. She disappeared.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So then she went to prison, of course, so then, not prison, jail, and she was in trouble or whatever. So then that's how we reconnected with her. But, like I said, it's been half our lives. So my mom's at a point where she doesn't, I don't know if anyone has ever dealt with, or you have.
Sometimes you do have to cut off. Like, I do know people who have had to cut off.
You want so
more
bad.
than anything else. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so happy. And then so many people judge my mom and like me, and like I have friends from high school have come up to me, why aren't you helping your sister? I'm like, see, I used to get so defensive.
Like you haven't tried, like you probably haven't spent years trying.
Or everyone thinks they have the answer. And I'm so proud of my mom and I, because and the kids, we've survived it. We're thriving. We're awesome. And we're just believing my mom and I are hippies. Like, love is the answer, right? Like, we finally came to a point where we're like, Vanessa, no more. It's hard, but I can't imagine I feel for my mom every day, because I'm like, that must be so hard to cut off your kid, right? We can't even cut off an ex-boyfriend sometimes, you know what I mean? Let alone your kid, huh?
Yeah.
So coming back to it, me and her have had the best relationship we ever had in our whole life. Because at Christmas, I said, Vanessa, I don't care anymore. I can't. I was like, I can't let you consume me anymore. I was like, I've let go of all the resentment, all the anger. I don't care if you do drugs the rest of your life. I'm just going to love you. And I just want to be your sister. I was like, we've never had that. Like, I wanted, except when we were little. I was like, I want to be your sister, and just hopefully I can talk or see you when I'm in town or on the phone. And, because I don't know whether you die tomorrow or in 50 years. And so we've been better, but you can't, like, she's on drugs. Like, she's never going to be the same. She's so far gone, Christy. Like, I mean, using meth for that many of years and living this street lifestyle, just like, that's the hardest part for me, is when I saw her, I was like, oh, it's just like, it like knocked the wind out of me. But
because she had a different personality?
Everything, like, she's just a different human being. Like, your brain, she's so gone, right? So leading up to her being hospitalized, it's when it's such a severe case, they like report. She lives on the street, so it's not like you can call her or like get a hold of her from time to time, right?
Wow.
And so my mom told me,
and even if like you guys were to pay for a cell phone or something, like, who's to say she wouldn't like sell the phone for drugs? Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
yeah. And I used to be so scared. I'm like, oh my God, if anyone finds this out, like, why do I care? Like, it's not normal, but like, I can't believe how insecure I used to be about this.
It's more normal because people don't talk about it, and it's.
But that's why we should talk about it, because so many of us go through it, and I was so sick of. I just say my story, like, I mean, but I grew up. This is why I don't want to get twisted. And see, my sister plays the victim card. I'm like, we grew up in an amazing big family, very high educated. All my family is military, doctors, teachers. I come from this huge, amazing family. Unfortunately, my sister just.
When did you first get into it?
I still don't. We're still trying to. Teen years, I think 8. Like, I still don't know exactly what year it was, but just always troublemaker, right? And so I was like, oh my God, I come from such a stellar, loving family. So that's what makes me sad too. And mental health is so important too, because mental illness runs in our family too, on our father's side. So she's always struggled with that too. So that, on top of drugs, on top of everything. And what made me the most sad, and so this is, maybe people could understand this, is my sister just wants to be loved and accepted. And I think when I told her that I'm just going to love her, it changed. Like, I felt like a weight lifted off her. She's like, really? Like that. She was like so surprised I said that.
So she's probably used to maybe like you guys trying to fix her or judge her, or like, yeah.
And so coming up, and then the syphilis thing, I was like, oh my God, it just like broke my heart. And like, I've had friends who had STDs. I have friends who have podcasts about having, like whatever. And
yeah.
And syphilis is so crazy because it can go to your brain and it can kill you. Like,
how long do you have to have it for
let's
it
get
to
rid
get
of
to
the
that
whole
point?
STD, like, slut.
Right. Everybody can get them.
One of my friends who the one time she didn't use condom, she got an STD, she's the most innocent person ever. So, like, I mean, not innocent, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not
everybody
trying to,
watching this has one. It's all good.
and I'm also not trying to defend my sister. I'm just trying to make it more, because people are really ignorant and assholes in this world. So, I'm trying to make people love and less judge, right? So my sister, like, so I don't know, I'm gonna do more research. I just kind of was like kind of shook this week because my sister's like, Al Capone died because of it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's what the first thing she told me.
Mm.
So I called her and she was so happy to hear from me, but I called her and I was like, she was so angry because they want her, she has to be in there for 14 days, like, on penicillin.
Wow.
I mean, that's in, I think, 14. I want to get the facts straight, but whatever. And I told her the same thing. I was like, Vanessa, I'm not going to lecture you. Like, how are you? Like, I think you just need to be talked to like a normal human being. Everyone's like, get off. I think constantly she's just being lectured, which she should. But at the end of the day, I was like, Vanessa, let's have an honest conversation. Like, what's up? And I think that was nice for her. And she just told me she's super depressed. I was like, are you depressed now? Or are you depressed? I mean, this is life-changing. I hope it's, but sometimes it takes something like this to maybe turn your life around, which I think you always hope that with addicts, right?
Yeah.
But you always think it's rock bottom, and it's never rock bottom. Anyone listening to this, like, I mean, I've had so much hope over the years, and it's never going to be, you always think it's rock bottom, and it's never going to be rock bottom. Like, and they have to decide to change. You can't ever,
because
tell them. And I
tried. I'm sure you've spent years trying, and you've said every possible thing in every possible way, and you exhaust yourself.
I dated an addict,
Yeah, and probably
addicts.
In the meantime, this person probably has lied to you. Who knows? Stolen money.
Constant, and I'm just so protective over my mom. But like I told her, I was like, Vanessa, I love you. I was like, once again, I'm not going to give you a lecture. I just want you to be happy. And I was like, and I'll tell you this, I don't think drugs are ever going to make you happy, but I'm not here to lecture you. I was like, you need to find out what's going to make you happy in life. And there's always a chance. So that's what I called and told her. And I think that's good. Cause I think sometimes people get so wrapped up in just like lecturing addicts and not treating them like normal humans, when every human just needs love, and support.
It's hard. It's some of the hardest things to do is to like accept people in our family or the people that we love for who they really are. Like, I have struggled with accepting like my sister's husband, like there's a bunch of red flags there's so many red flags about this guy. But what am I going to do? I either have to drop everything in my life to make it my full-time job, to like, hire a detective, you know what I mean? I'd have to like give up my whole life to finding out what's going on here. Or I just have to like get into the practice of like, I love my sister, I trust her, so therefore I have to trust her choices and her, choice of person. So, you know what I mean? Like, she seems good, she seems happy, and until that changes, or if she needs help, if some shit goes down, I'm gonna be the first person out there. But I can't anticipate that. And right, it's like judgment. It's like it's not just one judgment. It's like a verb, right? So it's like you just have to cut that off and start the new practice of like loving and accepting, even though it's hard. And it's like you can't change people, and you can't make people want things for themselves.
The biggest thing too that I want to, like, what I've learned so much even through this past week, was a good reminder, is obviously mine's like kind of like more deep, like, but I like how you even brought example of like dealing with your brother-in-law or whatever, right? Is you can't change anyone, you have to change yourself. And that's been the biggest lesson I've learned. Because if I'm going to be okay, then you're, Chrissy, you're my friend. If I'm okay, you're going to be okay. If I better myself, that's only going to make you better. Like, people are always constantly trying to convince, judge, change other
shame,
people, but
right? Especially
change
now
yourself
with like
change
social
yourself.
media, the shaming is like so popular because people want that quick high of telling somebody they're wrong and that they're better. And it's like what you said, the only thing you have control over is yourself and your thoughts and the habits you make.
That's what I'm trying to encourage everyone to do. I'm like, if I'm a good sister, that's only going to better our relationship. If I'm just going to take care of myself, be a better version of myself, and just be loving and caring and good with myself, then she'll be good too. And as a friend, as a comic, as like whatever, like that's all I can stress to people.
Right. It's like if you choose love over judgment, and now this sounds like I might be at a Bible study course, but it's like if you choose love over judgment, you're
Compound people are really gonna love
not
this.
only is it just like it's better for you as the person, as the vessel, but it's better for them because it's like if you're coming at them with nothing but love and acceptance, then guess what? When shit goes down or where they really need something, you're gonna be the person that they go to and feel safe, confessing it or asking for stuff. But yeah, it's like nobody needs, like when you're a little kid and you have like a grown-up telling you don't do stuff, guess what? You're gonna just not listen to them and do the opposite. I was that kid.
But also,
I was always
like,
doing the
stop
opposite.
worrying about but also stop worrying about so many people are always worried about what other people are doing. Like, who cares? Like, why do you care what other people are doing?
It's like make your own bed. It's like, do you read Jordan Peterson at all?
No, but I feel like if you
He's
just
like,
said that,
if you're looking for like the dad advice you never received, get into Jordan Peterson. Like if you could start with like, what's it called? 12 Rules for Life. It's like the best. It's all about like,
I love this stuff.
Take care of you first. Like literally make your own bed before you judge somebody else's mess. And it's all about self-responsibility and like not being a victim and not,
That's what I'm saying. I used to be so concerned about what everyone was thinking. I was like, why? And maybe me telling this one story is going to help someone who's been struggling for a long time.
And it's not that
and not feel alone.
It's like it's everyone needs different things. It's like sometimes cutting a person off is the healthiest thing you can do, because I know people who've had to cut off a relative because they've consistently lied, stolen, like, made the living space unsafe. So it really depends. Like, and you shouldn't judge the people who cut off a relative or
Absolutely
like
not.
Yeah, or people who have addicts in the family. That doesn't mean everybody else in the family is not doing a good job.
Yeah.
It means that like addiction is like hella powerful, and also like you can't.
Mental health is so important.
Yeah. So it's like you saw her, what was the most different to you that stood out from the last time you saw or spoke with her?
Well, okay, I didn't see her this week because I'm in New York, and she's back in New Mexico. But the last time I saw her, it's just like she looks completely different, worn down. And listen, this girl was the one blessed with the looks in our family. Okay, she was just like the most breathtaking 5'8", blonde, green hair, green eyes, boobs, like
green hair.
I mean, green eyes, blonde hair. Like, she had that.
She was a dragon lady. No.
Have you ever, like, how like sometimes beauty destroys people? I feel like that was for my sister almost. Like, in a good way. I don't know, but she, it's just like to see her she just has no purpose, and that's just what
she didn't develop herself like the way.
I stopped trying to figure it out too, because I feel like you got to move forward, but like I just I hope everyone knows that you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion, and I feel like my sister is in a victim mode, and she just has no purpose in life. Like she is not doing anything with her life. I mean, that just kills me inside. I'm not saying she has to go out and have this big career, but I want her to be happy.
But everybody has a purpose. Like we're not put on this earth. I don't think we're put on this earth randomly. It's like, you could get into the real weird shit. Like we pick our parents. I've heard theories like,
I love all that. Oh, Chrissy, I believe in all that.
We pick our parents based on like how we like the way they fuck. Like I've heard all sorts of stories.
Oh, no. We do pick our parents. I believe that 110%. So,
I guess I wanted
Chrissy,
parents
you and I are both really into that kind of stuff though.
Yeah, so much so that if we keep talking about it, it's going to alienate the audience.
Yeah. Let's go get our crystals later.
As I like touch my crystals.
Rub your amethyst or whatever that is.
Rub my amethyst. Yeah. This is an
amethyst. Throw some sports stats. Get us back on track.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah. So explain your podcast for somebody who has never heard an episode.
Okay. So, and also I have I have 2 podcasts now, but we're going to start with Heart Skoal. So Heart Skoal, basically, we'll just do Heart Skoal. But Heart Skoal, because Christy, you're gonna like my new podcast. It's a self-improvement podcast, anyways. But
that's and don't you have a new co-host on?
Yeah, that's
the other one. Okay.
Podcast, yeah. CJ Dunning. She's a professional football player, bodybuilder, and WWE wrestler. She's like a scientist. She's really into science. Super hot. We're doing a self-improvement podcast and teaching people how to manifest.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that.
Very, very cool. So, like I said, I've gone through this, like, transformation. I just think it'd be fun to be, like, real about it, not, like, more, like, kind of, like, The Secret and Esther and everyone. Like, when you try to introduce someone, it's, like, very far-fetched.
It's a lot of the same message, but you need different channels for the message. You need
it's
all like the same beliefs, but, like, you need, not everybody is going to reach everybody. So.
That's what we thought, though. We're like, listen, maybe we can help, like, it not be so far-fetched.
If you can reach the type of person who would never be interested in that stuff, then you've done your job.
So, but to go back, Heart Skoal is like really cool because it's for Jim Jax Media. So basically, we cover everything Minnesota Vikings, but it's more than a football podcast. It was really cool. I still haven't met my co-host because I was supposed to meet him because he lives in Pennsylvania, and he was going to come to a show in April. I was booked at some like Scranton or something. And but then COVID happened. But it's funny, it's like this Midwest like cheesy dad, like he's like obsessed with Disney, doesn't drink.
Does he work for Dunder Mifflin?
I don't know. He's like an accountant, like he's really cute, like, and he thinks I'm like a wild child, like yeah, it's really fun. So it's a good dynamic, and we just cover Vikings and then we talk about life, and that's about it.
So how much of it is sports talk and how much of it is?
I would say they're about 45-minute episodes and about half of it's sports talk.
Okay, cool. So what are your thoughts on the future of football?
I mean, I do live for the Vikes and football, so I'll be sad if it doesn't happen, but I've kind of accepted it. I've accepted this year for if nothing happens.
Just more time for everybody to do more push-ups, I guess.
Oh, God. A little reset button. I'm like, okay. But I will give my thoughts on this. We have to live our lives. I'm not saying I want people to die, and I'm not saying everyone should be assholes, but we have to move forward. You can't be quarantined your whole life. That's
not for something that's 99% survivability. Come on, y'all.
So what I'm saying is we have to move forward. You have to live your life. And, of course, we can't be so – humans, we have to live. People are going to die anyways. I mean, you want to get a kid, every death's a suicide, okay? No.
Yeah.
Something I read in Esther Hicks' book.
Oh, that's fast. That's a whole nother thing. What do you think, AMarie, about the idea of a Black National Anthem? Do you think that is okay if they want to play that before NFL games? What would that even be?
I will say this. I don't know. I'm still, I came around to the Colin Kaepernick thing. I understand. I thought obviously that was a peaceful protest. But I just didn't understand the meaning of it. And I'm not going to lie till all the most recent events. I think because I was programmed so heavily in the military, my mom, Air Force, 35 years. And so like my mom is about the flag,
Yeah.
But, I just want all humans to be treated equally. So whatever it takes, like whatever is going to help all humans, that's what I want to happen, in my opinion. It's so not like, it's a tough subject, but whatever we take, if it's changing the name of football teams or whatever, I think everyone deserves, I don't know, happiness. I don't know, Chrissy. It makes me sad.
What makes you sad? The fact that people think there's a need for one?
I think that I this country, we're all built off being different and being united. So why can't we come up with maybe a whole new one about being all together? I don't know. Like, why do we have to separate everyone?
And then to what end does every group who feels, a little bit fucked over gets to have their own national anthem? It's like, isn't that the point of a national anthem? Because
a lot
everybody
of stuff does need to be, but this is what sucks. Then it gets ruined. Like, we're doing so good and now it's being ruined with all these shootings. Like, I'm like, oh guys, this is why nothing ever gets done. It sucks. But people always ruin it for every group. It doesn't matter. Like, but some change needs to happen just in general in the world. I mean, we're very divided. I don't know what the answer is, but I have, whether you're white, black, whatever, my left friends hate my right friends, and I don't know. I feel in such a weird place because I'm a pretty in the middle person.
Yeah, which must be hard because everything around you wants you to choose a side, and I just think, like, I have leaned. I mean, I still consider myself like classic liberal, but like since now, like in the last couple of years, it's like if you're not a radical leftist, then you might as well be Republican. And I've found, like, ever since I got into Compound and found like my sense of humor aligns with those guys, and those guys seem to attract a more conservative base. I mean, I'm just like, all right, well, I just want whoever likes me, and I don't feel like I can pick my fans. So it's like you just kind of play for your fans. But I feel like, if anything, I'm probably more libertarian, and I just feel like it's kind of like disrespectful to just like come up with another national anthem.
Yeah, and I just think that this country was built off its flaws, even too. It's not against anyone, so it's very hard because everyone has such different opinions. Very interesting time in life, but the hard thing about being neutral too is this all comes back to, why are you so worried about other people? That's probably where more libertarian is. You take care of yourself. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, don't force how you feel on other people.
I'm doing my shit, so I'm doing my part. Do your part. Like, stop worrying about me. Just like,
yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. I'm like, I do my part. I go out. My mom taught me to go out and be a good person in the world. Be kind. Be respectful. Try to do the right thing. You won't always do the right thing, but live, learn, grow. I mean, basic things.
Try to swallow when you can. Basic stuff. That's what my mom taught me.
Reach for the top of the shelf for people. And
how to make a good pie and how to swallow.
How to swallow. I don't know if I answered that question well. I don't have an answer yet.
You did. Yeah, you're in the middle. You, as an empathetic person, you see and feel the pain around you.
I like to hear all sides. And I will tell everybody out here, if you're hanging out and only listening to people from the same view as you, when you gonna learn anything? I mean, you got to hear people out.
It's hard when you're convinced everybody on the other side is crazy and wrong. Like, it's so easy to get, and everybody likes to be part of a group. It's easy to get caught up in your group because that's where your identity is. And like, just like with sports, it's like, my team, but
yeah, one of those people.
Those crazy sports people. AMarie, I love you to death. Where can people find you on social media? Are you on TikTok?
I did one TikTok video. I thought of some other creative ideas. I'm gonna do more sports videos, but it's at part-time bro, part_time_bro on everything. My YouTube channel has all my new content. I basically have turned Part-Time Bro into a lifestyle brand with a lot of fucking content. So check it out. Yeah, because they have so much new content. So good.
Did you say that maybe you are now a full-time bro?
I am now a full-time bro. That's my other favorite part about Part-Time Bro is like people get my DMs. I think because like, tall. I don't think I look manly. I think I'm a very feminine person, but like it's like Part-Time Bro. I think they think like I'm part other things.
Is that what, you're trans? If you've come here looking for a chick with a dick,
which part are
you're gonna be disappointed?
Because I've been with some bros.
Yeah. If you want to date AMarie, where can they reach out to you?
Don't have another girlfriend.
Okay.
Or maybe just tell me about her.
Okay.
You know, I actually don't want a boyfriend until 35, but I'm willing to like go out and hang out. I don't know, but not like that either. Like, you know, I'm just
Yeah,
really
you're
not
just
trying to have a boyfriend until 35.
okay. Okay. I
I know
like
that
that.
sounds weird, but there's no point, and especially in
There's
COVID.
there's no rush. There's no rush right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people are already
I
booed
also
up.
think I just think I'm meant to be a second wife. Like I don't think I'm first wife material. Like I think I'm like the girl you met. Like I'm the second time around. You're like, oh,
You
she's the
definitely
fun.
have very cool second wife vibes. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, like I want to be like the hot second
take me
wife. You
to a
know,
game. I'm cool. I'll play video games with you. I'll kick
like
your
my
ass.
first wife never let me have football Sundays.
Yeah.
This rocks.
Yeah. Pizza eating contests. I don't know. Cool chick stuff. AMarie, thank you so much for doing the show. I love you dearly. I can't wait to see you soon, whenever we can. You know. All right, we're doing it. Love you, AMarie.
Love you too.
Bye.